Yo, welcome back to the Canadian Bro Show. Yes, couple of Canadian chaps. Canadian Bro Show is a Canadian podcast. First iteration is Canadian pop culture with Pauly and Johnny. All things Canadian with Pauly and Johnny. Almost 60 episodes. And I love them both. The co-hosts of the most, but honestly, I'm a hoop junkie. And here we are for the second season, episode 38, week 8. I love that. You know what 8 means in a lot of cultures in this world? It's good fortune, bro.
Look how big that logo is in my screen.
Good Lord. It's and there's still room for your head and 2 Michael Jordan posters.
Well,
it's working at the Canadian Bro Show. And welcome back. My name is Paul Bale. I'm the host and the founder of the Canadian Bro Show, 15 plus years in the making. I'm so happy to have my co-host of the most, to my left and your right, the most talented sports fanatic I've ever met outside Brooke Riggins. Honestly, number 2, number 1, whatever. I'll let Brooke and Trent fight it out. These guys know everything about everything, but I brought them on for the Canadian Bro Show because it's all things Canadian with Pauly and Johnny at almost 60 episodes, but really importantly at this show, we're talking about all basketball from the Hoopjunkies, Pauly and Rowley, because I'm a hoop junkie and so is Rowley. Trent, how you doing, bro? I understand it.
Brooke might be a good guest to have.
What's that, sorry?
Brooke might be a good guest to have sometime.
Oh, we have to get. He said he would, but he's so reluctant because we're beneath his exuberance of excellence. And if he could find some time to join us, I'm sure Brooke would. In fact, I've been thinking about that for a long time. It's really funny you brought that up. I need your help, bro, because he's a stubborn mofo.
I'll reach out to him because him and I have
cool.
Yeah. For sure.
All right, cool. So we're back, second season, episode 38, week 8. So we're into the NBA season. I'm going to cut down. This is our Canadian Bro Show song. Waiting for Trent to provide me with something more Anderson .Paak, a little bit more hip hop, a little bit more not Brit poppy or country and western or just absolute shite. No disrespect to my friend Chris Wright, my old teammate who created this for us. In the meantime, we're just going to go back to the Urban Group.
I could open the show with a live guitar if you want and play my guitar and sing if that's what you need.
I had no idea you actually played the guitar.
Oh, for sure, man. Since I was 13.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you got a little hip hop, rap, Anderson .Paak vibe that you can put together?
I might have to try to figure it out. Maybe.
Oh man, that would be cool. Look, all the years I've known you, you might have said it. But forgive me if I forgot. No, it's pretty cool though, because I have zero inclination towards being a musician. I know good music. I love good music, but it's not the case. Anyways, we're back, and it's a weird episode in that it's one of the, once again, same as it happened last year, the Emirates Cup. And there's a lot of people in North America that might know what the Emirates Cup is. Trent, do you know what the Emirates Cup is?
You know what I think of the Emirates Cup? That's what I think of the Emirates Cup.
Oh, no. That wasn't the question. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, it's some stupid tournament that they do in the NBA. So players.
It's not stupid. It's about money making. It's about the politics of sport. It's about the corporations and the world domination of sport.
Baby. It's all about the bank.
It's all about the bank. So we've talked about it on and off in the second season. First season was about 29, 30 episodes. We're into...
You just told me pre-show that you're not that happy with it this year. You were in love with it last year. You thought it was just the best thing.
No, you know what? It's not I'm in love with it. I'm not in love with anything until I'm in love with it. And that takes a while. I don't fall in love very easy anymore at this stage of my life. I'm turning 61 in a month, and falling in love is the reason why I'm doing this show is because I'm in love with basketball and a hoop junkie, and I love Trent and Johnny, and look, to be able to do this 2-3 times a week and hang out with everybody that's willing to take their time, enjoy it, to me, that's what love's about. and it's free entertainment. It's a great podcast, and everyone knows that what's going on in YouTube is pretty exceptional. And Trent and I are really passionate about this stuff. And the backdrop that you're seeing is actually my last professional team I played. I just got to mention it briefly because one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. And it just keeps on going back to the urban groove, so I need to sort that out.
Or just get rid of it.
No, I love it. But anyways, in the backdrop is the London Towers. The London Towers was my last professional team in the BBL, the British Basketball League. The person that made the songs that are coming up, it's Chris Wright, my teammate back in Newcastle, and I could have been teammates in Worthing. But we won everything in 1998, 99, and it just shows you how old we are. But if you look at us, you'd never know that I'm turning 61. What's that?
98, when was that?
98, 99. This is London Towers in the British Basketball League, which used to be called the Budweiser Premier League.
I had a sweet t-shirt from the Budweiser League.
Really?
Yeah.
Did I give that to you? Someone else gave it to you.
Like an old gray t-shirt. Yeah, it was a gray t-shirt with the Budweiser.
Oh, yeah. Well, I had an ex-teammate steal all of my backpacks and all the gear that I got up from.
I had a nice London Towers Nike golf shirt as well that you gave me.
Did you? Oh, I can't believe they didn't steal that as well. I won't mention the guy's name, but I know who it is. And they stole everything, but at least I got stuff to, Trent and Brooke and whoever else I gave. But we're the London Towers. We won everything that year. It's in the backdrop. It's all hoops with the Hoopjunkies, Pauly and Rowley. And we just want to talk about, we always like to start with the WNBA. It's early in the season, but honestly, what's going on with female basketball in the world right now is really transforming basketball to the level where it's at now, and it's largely because of a couple of people, as it always is, like Michael Jordan with male basketball, and then of course, Trent got me turned on to female basketball when Caitlin Clark came in. I heard about her, I didn't know, and then she broke Pistol Pete Maravich's scoring record, and that's when I woke up and said, "What? A female basketball from Iowa?"
2 years before that.
I know, and I had no idea. I mean, I heard about it. He's been talking about it for a long time.
You're not the first dude that I was telling about, like her sophomore year, saying, "Hey, you should check this girl out." Like, I'm like, this is my girl right now. Like, this is my Michael Jordan for women's basketball.
She is a female Michael Jordan.
Well, it takes a while to get guys to buy in, but I've got a few guys who slowly buy in. They still make jokes about the girls' game because it's, like you said, below the rim, but at the same time, that's a skill. Like what she does, it's like those videos.
It's amazing, man.
I've never seen a woman play like that ever.
Amazing.
I've seen more of them play like that, so it's pretty sweet.
Well, and I think that's the intro to this show is all basketball for the Hoopjunkies. But Trent and I want to talk about for 2-3 minutes a couple of gals that are, paying attention to what's going on, and they're transforming the female basketball game on their level in the Western Hemisphere. We know what's going on in FIBA. Female basketball in the EuroLeague and FIBA in the world is unbelievably exploding. But of course, in the Western Hemisphere, in North America, people don't realize that female basketball is really anything outside that. And Trent, take it over, because we got a couple of gals we want to talk about. They're incredible. And what's happening is amazing. And whether you acknowledge it or not, it doesn't really matter. But if you're interested and you have a daughter or a cousin or a niece, or you know someone, you're part of a voluntary basketball coach in a high school program, and you really enjoy it, let's celebrate basketball, not just male basketball, all basketball. Trent, take it over, bro.
Well, we have high school level first. Maddie in Greenway in Minnesota scoring like over 30 a game. She
Unreal,
might break the Minnesota scoring record this year.
I hope she does. I hope she shatters it.
Who did? Again, watching women's basketball for as long as I have.
And coach, Trent, and coach.
Yeah, but the biggest thing I've noticed on the level that you can watch on television is the ball handling and the shooting. The other things have improved, of course. The athleticism has improved, but the ball handling and the shooting are the two big things that have changed. And you have more and more women shooting the ball like Caitlin Clark. like more and more, because again, that's the effect, right? The effect is it's like Steph Curry in the NBA. When I coach boys basketball, what's the first thing they're doing? I can shoot it from out here. I'm Steph Curry. No,
They're
you're not.
jacking from 3.
It's like, no, you're not, Chucker.
And they don't have a left. They can't even make a left-hand layup.
It's crazy. Like, that's the influence that they have in the game, right? When Michael Jordan was at his peak, everybody thought they could fly. None of us could, but everybody thought they could.
Well, I could fly a little.
Yeah, no, but you know what I'm getting at. So it's the same thing with her impact on the game is, hey, I can shoot this ball. And now you're seeing better ball handling. You know, that kind of stuff. The women's game is just, it's, as I've told many people, we're just entering the golden age of the women's game, because the girls that are coming from college, girls that are coming from Europe, the projected number 1 pick is from Spain right now. Yeah. And she's 6'4", 6'5", can shoot threes, handle the ball. I've seen her dunk it a couple times, but I don't know if she'll be getting in-game dunks unless they're a wide open one. But again, it's just the evolution of that game. And if you're a true basketball fan, and the fact that I've coached both, I'll tell you right now, women fundamentally and with footwork are better than the men in the men's game, because that's something that's gone in
don't forget a very important trend, if you don't mind, introduction, cerebral, the mental aspect from females, from women, it's on a different level. With what he just said is remarkable. It's a whole different ball game.
It's not,
and I love it.
No, it's a way more fundamental game. Footwork is better. I mean, let's be honest. The men's game, the basketball. You know what? People can say what they want about them. We can talk about this, but the men's game for me is the difference between the men's game now and before. It's the opposite of the women's game. The women's game is going forward when it comes to the IQ, the skills. The men's game, lots of guys can shoot threes, lots of guys can dunk, but the basketball IQ is actually fallen in the NBA on a whole.
So it's interesting. Trent brings up. We've been talking about this for quite some time, and Trent and I both coached female basketball, and being a part of it for extended periods of time. In fact, one of my contracts in Europe, in Austria, I didn't know when I signed the contract. They gave me a bonus, and then they took me in a car and they met my new female senior. I had gals from 15 to 55, and I was their new coach. They didn't tell me when the contract was offered, but when it happened, one of the most rewarding few months I've had in my life, and the experience was unbelievable. So Trent and I, we talk from the heart. We're both coaches, we're both players. I played professional. Trent is going to be starting a professional academy, hopefully at some point sooner than later, where he's at, and we'll just leave it at that. And that is about coaching and educating and learning. And it's all about females, males. You can be 80. Yeah. There's people that are in the senior, the ultra senior leagues in the world right now in FIBA. There's guys that are in their 70s and 80s that are still playing world senior men's championships. Dude, I'm so scared of doing that, because I'm afraid not just not blowing out both my Achilles tendons, but having a jammer on a layup and missing the layup, and then I'm dead. Listen, I'm glad to die if I can, if I will.
You'd be more upset about missing a layup than having.
I'm telling you, man, it's the worst. Or a foul shot. If there's one shot to win the championship at seniors, and I'm like 78 or 88, whatever, and I missed a foul shot, I mean, it's devastating.
I would just tell people this: there's so many names to go through.
Yeah.
Just go check out college. It's on TV now on the weekends, on mainstream TV. They show women's college basketball. They have their tournament. It's out there.
YouTube, man. YouTube's a wealth of information.
Yes, exactly it is. But go check it out. It's a different game. If you're a true basketball fan, you can have appreciation for it. You're not going to see dunks. You're not going to see that kind of, but you're going to see the fundamentals of basketball being played properly when it comes to turn and face and triple threat and step throughs and how to positioning. You just don't make
ball fakes. Jab steps. moving without the ball.
Exactly. You don't make up for stuff like in the men's game because I can run fast or jump high, and it's just a different game. And it's I would almost say like the women's game is like chess, and the men's game is like, I don't know. It's almost like
AAU on steroids.
It's just up and down, right? So
yeah, it's crazy.
But
that's a whole different ball game. But nice intro, Trent. Let's go into. We're freestyling today, so if you want to finish up with anything, great. But Trent and I have been talking about it's a weird couple of weeks in the NBA. Once again, happened last year, last 3 years, but this is only our second year being on the show, and the schedule's just wonky. I just want to give you a brief breakdown on the schedule. Because maybe not a lot of people are actually paying attention to it. I don't know. I certainly am. And the Emirates Cup is essentially, in my opinion, this is not what is in reality, but this is just our opinion, is a way for the NBA to step into the global theater even more than they're at, which is the number one basketball global theater in the world. However, the Federation of International Basketball Association actually has the largest governing body of basketball in the world. So the powers that be in the Western Hemisphere are the owners of the NBA, and I won't go into that because that's when it gets a little bit darker than a lot of people want to hear. And I do want to talk about growth. Is that when you're a corporation or in a business and there's a way to increase your revenue that helps the corporate shares or you know what I'm saying, most of you people do, is that's where the money is. And it's when you're the fastest growing sport in the world, thanks Yao Ming and others, but Yao Ming really started it in the in China, where all of a sudden Yao Ming came in at 7'6", and 400 to 500 million Chinese were watching the sport. Right? You remember?
Yeah. I was frozen for a second there.
I know. Well, maybe I was frozen because my internet's been acting a little wonky. But you've got worse. You got worse. Yeah, well, you got worse weather in Alberta than I do. It could be either. No, we're trying to do a live show. We're live filming, but this show won't be on until tomorrow morning when I put it back on. Because I got another basketball game to watch tonight. But it happens. We have technical issues. And in a year, we've done 96 episodes, not including my real estate videos, which is another 10 or 11, whatever, and a couple of other whimsy things. But it happens. If in a year, without having 96, I would have 106, 110, but not everything works out. And Trent and I, and what we do at the Canadian Bro Show podcast, is we're unlike many other people that do podcasts in this world. Is yes, we have pre-shows, and yes, we script, and yes, we do work, and yes, a lot of it's right here because we're hoop junkies, right?
No money being funneled into this,
and we have a limited budget, and it's my budget. Everything that's on the Canadian Bro Show is coming out of my pocket. But I'm happy to have the co-host of the most. And if you enjoy the show and you've been subscribing to our show, we've had 106 subscriptions. Our goal is to get to 500 so that we can be monetized and take it to the next level. So if you appreciate this, we appreciate anything you can do for us. Subscribe, like, share, whatever you'd like to say. But in the meantime, let's get on with the show. And fantasy basketball. The Emirates Cup is the quarterfinals are going on right now, and I watched the first game. And did you watch any of the first game? You get a chance of seeing that?
Yeah, nice,
Magic?
Nice comeback by the Magic there, the way that game started. It was like 25-9, and I was thinking, holy. But they
actually, the Magic were down. I think I was in the car. They were like 14-0 run to start the game.
It was like 25-9 to start.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
But the NBA has lots of games like that. They'll have,
yeah. But this is like the Emirates Cup is a lot of really wealthy sheiks from different parts of the world that just want to make more money, because when you're a billionaire, you're not really interested in helping the poor or sharing your wealth with people that don't have it. You just want to make more money. It's just kind of weird how that happens. But
Money.
I'm telling you. Yeah, very nice.
Real world, man.
And so, we're in the quarterfinals, and there's 4 teams left, and 2 in the Eastern play tonight, which Trent and I were talking about. You got to see some of the game.
Yeah, I'm watching the Raptor game right now. So.
I know. It's filming right now. We're filming right now when the Raptor, but I'll watch it later. We're both going to watch it. But and we're Toronto fans, and we're Canadian, and it's a Canadian Bro show. But there's only 4 teams left quarter. So tomorrow is going to be the 2 teams, whenever happens tonight, for the finals, and they're going to meet. And the winner is going to be on, what is that, Friday?
Vegas.
In Vegas, of course,
Yep.
because Vegas odds, over, under, Van Duel, all of that. We don't have a sponsorship at this point. When the channel grows, maybe we will. Who knows? I have no idea.
Can we just agree that betting is just ruining sports?
Yeah, I agree.
It's like every.
I agree.
Every set. Actually, Tuesday, December 16th, so a couple days before my birthday, is the Emirates Cup final. So Saturday is the semifinal games. So Saturday night. So I imagine they'll try to have that on ABC or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday is the finals. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's.
We'll be into week 9 by that point. But it's actually what's weird about the whole schedule. And thanks for bringing that up, Trent. Is because of the Emirates Cup and this wonky schedule, is 2 weeks are lost in the NBA. And get a nap before we do a show, Tron. It's like, can we call a bartender to drop off a tequila shot for you, or a shot of coffee? You okay there, bro?
Yeah.
I saw it. I couldn't help it. It's all good. At least you're polite, and you tried to hide the yawn.
And the
Slightly.
Last year's what wrecked it for me was they gave it a 2-week week. So when I used
they're doing it again. It's the same thing.
It is okay. Good. I've only used 1 or 2 lineup changes. So
okay. So keep
Last
your
year I was
5.
screwed.
Keep your 5 or 5 for the week.
4.
Keep it
4.
Well, per week. Right,
Yeah, but
so
they only gave you 4 for the whole.
No,
2
it
weeks.
depends. Now they're tweaking it. So who knows what they're doing, man? Like, it's all about money. At the end of the day, the winner, 18 players, all the coaches. I'm not really sure where the money goes after that. They all get a trophy, the Emirates Cup trophy. It's quite nice, and $500,000 US.
It goes to a strip club in Las Vegas. Wings and strippers, baby. Let's go.
I mean, what else do you need? I guess if you really think you're a true Canadian bro, we're not true Canadian bro at that level.
That's our boy Jamal Crawford.
I'm telling you, look, Trent and I we're in the 60s. Okay, we're not kids anymore. That is not what we do anymore. It's not saying that we didn't do it in the past, but we're not going to share that on live television, because this is YouTube and it's not a child-friendly show.
Man.
For the most part. What do you want to talk about now? Like, look, we're freestyling. So the Emirates situation, I watched the game, and Magic, if Desmond Bane, who they traded 4 first rounds picks to get him, which was really excessive, not as excessive as one of my favorite players, Mikal Bridges. They gave up a whole country and 5 picks. And I don't know what, they gave up everything. But Bane came out, and he's under pressure, and he's got stubby arms. He's built like a linebacker. He's 6'5", and he's at a Texas Christian University. Nobody picked him up out of high school. He had some other I don't even know who they are, and he took Texas Christian. Smart move, bro. And he came out, and he's been struggling, and he's under the pressure of all of, let's face it, Orlando has a terrible backcourt. And kudos to Mr. Black and Suggs.
Suggs played well tonight.
He's been playing really well. It's about time, because it's about time that he woke up. But Bane came out, and he's just pissed off, and he's tired, and he knows he's got short arms, and that's why he looks like a linebacker in football. And he just said, fuck it, I'm going out, and he killed it tonight. He had nothing in the first quarter and dominated the game, and they won. Wow. I'm actually. Do you have a?
Tony Orlando played well too.
Oh my God, I love that. I was hoping you were going to say that. You caught that with the fro?
Yeah, the dude. No, the dude.
Mr. Black.
The
Tony Orlando.
Commentator.
Oh, it's so awesome.
Magic announcer. He's like, I think we got a new nickname. It's Tony Orlando.
And he's like, I love that.
I laughed.
That's hotter than ginger on a wax.
Like Miami Vice.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And it's nice to see the kid. He's 6'7". He's got a fro, so he looks like he's 6'9". And he's everything that they needed. And Bane played really well because he's pissed off that he hasn't been playing well.
Yeah.
And he was dropped. But anybody that's going to pay 4 first-rounders and everything else, look, dude, you're wanted. Play like you're needed. Mm-hmm. And he did tonight.
Well, we were on him at the start of the year. He was really struggling.
Terrible.
Sucking, whatever you want to call it.
Terrible.
But he's, in the last 2-3 weeks, he's kind of playing like he was in Memphis, like the Desmond Bain that everybody thought that.
Even better. He had 237 back-to-back games, had a couple of duds.
He kind of lost his mind a little bit, like throwing balls at people and hard
Dude, he's done that twice this year. You know what he got fined for that?
Yeah, $38K.
35.
For 35, like.
But I'm surprised they didn't toss him in the game because that was malicious intent. Because he's done it already once before. But anyways, he's struggling because you got to move, you got to transfer. There's female, there's families, there's politics, there's players. He's walking into a backcourt that has been one of the worst backcourts in the NBA and fantasy basketball for far too long.
Of course, the Raptors tonight,
Is that over? Is that why you're going there?
Yeah, I'm going to turn it off here.
Yeah, what about the Knicks? They're playing the Knicks, right?
Yeah, it is. Of course, Barrett was already hurt.
Barrett's been hurt for like a week.
I know what I'm saying. So he's hurt, and all of a sudden, magically, quickly he's not playing tonight. Like he got hurt.
No, he didn't get hurt. He got sick.
Whatever.
He got a cold. There's apparently a flu going on. He was riding.
Things at the local Toronto strip bar, probably.
Oh man, I don't want to go there, Trent. I want to try to keep it positive.
It is positive. I'm going to make fun of it. That's why it's positive, because it's again, something we talk about all the time. These guys missing games.
No, they're soft as butter, man, and they get away with it.
I love that the NBC thing with NBC now being back on cable television, basketball on primetime on like a Tuesday night. NBC
Peacock? Is that Peacock?
Yeah, well, Peacock too, but NBC for cable.
Okay.
And they have a halftime thing where they I can't remember the guy's name from NBC, but he has a little sit down with Michael Jordan. So Jordan's kind of come back into the mix a little bit, right? And they're talking about load management and other things, and
he rips it apart. I saw that.
Well, that, and then talking about again what we talked about earlier about basketball IQ. He says, I watch these games, and he goes, I see the guy like Anthony Edwards. He's been in the league now for how many years? How does he not understand how to break a double team yet? And he was very subtle about it. And I've had a friend bring that up to me going, you think by this time this guy would know that either get rid of the ball or he's got to go do something.
He knows, Trent. He knows.
Come laziness, on, right? But the best thing was, again, here's what's lacking in the NBA today, in contracts. The last one that they had Jordan on, in his contract, he had a clause called for the love of the game in his contract.
Yeah.
That meant, he says this in the interview, he goes, that means that if I'm driving, and back in the day when I'm playing in Chicago, if I'm driving and I'm driving by a playground and I see a pickup game and I look at it and I go, that looks interesting, I can pull over and I can go play in it. And if I get hurt, my contract's still covered. Because he goes, I get to play basketball whenever I want. Because he goes, that's what I love. And it showed obviously showed in the guy's career. That's what he was about. So all these guys now, do they do that? I know they play lots, but they're playing in Pro-Am stuff in the Drew League and in the West Coast. Are they really playing, would they have that in their contract? I know guys have contracts that they can't ride a motorcycle or something like that. They don't get hurt. But he actually had a for the love of the game clause in his contract so he could play basketball anytime he wanted.
Dude, that's a really nice. I didn't know I think you might have mentioned that in the past, but I didn't know about that. I don't remember it, but wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
interesting.
And that's where I see again, you watch these guys and they're taking nights off and, back-to-back games. Like when we talk about fantasy hoops, one of the big things with you look at your schedule and you go, oh, I have a back-to-back there. I wonder if so-and-so is going to play. I never used to have to think like that just as a fan. I never had to worry that a guy was going to take a second night of a back-to-back off because I need to rest.
Geez, I wonder what happened, Trent.
Yeah.
It's all about the money. It's all about the money.
It's very discouraging as a fan that's how. I know that the league fined the Cavs like $100K.
Again? No, more than that. 150.
Yeah,
the second time doing the same thing with the big toe of Garland, who's just always freaking injured.
These guys don't have that same feeling. As Jordan talked, he says, I know if I'm coming to play somewhere, that there's somebody that might never get to go to another basketball game that's coming to see me that night. And that's why he did what he did every night. Yeah. And he says it that way. Whereas these guys, I mean, I know that because I know that, and you could touch on this. It was a few years back when the Spurs got in trouble. All of a sudden they're playing on a prime time game because it was a back-to-back. They're sitting Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker, and the league's like, hey, you can't do that. That
was horrible. I was so pissed. I actually watched that game.
League, right?
It was more than that. I think there was 4 or 5 players they sat. It was ridiculous. Yeah. It was like watching the G League come off the bench. Seriously.
And then with one good thing about technology these days is, I think it was 2 years ago, and it did get a lot of publicity, is there was a kid that was at a game that had, I drove X amount of miles to come to my first game to see Steph Curry. Well, guess who's sitting out that game? Steph Curry. Well, that went viral, right? So that's the one thing about technology with phones, that people see that and going, again, you guys are being paid to do this. There's people that might only be able to afford to come to it once. You have a responsibility. You really do, and they just don't look
Trent,
at that.
In our pregame, you mentioned, what was it? The round mound and rebound is complaining about that, eh?
Oh,
Charles Barkley. What was he saying recently? He was saying that a family spends like $1,000 driving from.
Well, he made a comment that he goes, we have people that work 5 days a week, work overtime, work anywhere from 40 to 60, 70 hours a week.
Yeah.
And you can't play 3 games in a week.
I know.
Or, even 4 maybe, right? It's like, it's
oh my God. 4 games in a week. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
I'd play 7 days a week for decades.
I would play as much as I could when I could.
Yeah,
my body would let me. It was like I couldn't get enough.
And in Europe, in a side note, because I was in FIBA, it's not like it's the NBA. It's close. It's a league lower, but you play maybe 2 times a week if you're lucky that your team is proactive. Maybe a couple exhibition games, and so you get 4 games. But every single team, when I was a professional, if they asked my opinion, I'd say, as many tournaments and games as we can play in this season, let's go.
Yeah.
So if it's 30 games, we're playing 50.
Yeah.
Because what's the point? You're paying me.
Yeah.
You're paying me 2 tickets, flights per season, a car, a condo, 3 meals a day. You're giving me net salary, paying my taxes, and all the other free gear, free shoes, and all of the bonuses of being a celebrity in a foreign country as a professional athlete, and I'm complaining? Dude, let's go.
Exactly.
I don't want to sit out. I want to play.
Well, part of the other thing that Jordan brought up is that you notice, again, everybody talks about Air Jordan, right, or brand Jordan now. Yeah. But guess what, guys? Like he said, and was really good how he said it. It's on YouTube. You can find it.
Yeah, I saw it. It's really impressive.
When he said it, he goes, everybody has their own logo now, their own brand. He goes, I think that's great. But he goes, nobody did put the work in to have that brand now. They either have NIL money, and people go, well, he had Air Jordan, Nike. Guess what, guys? Nike rolled the dice. Basketball was the one sport out of all the sports out there, and most sports, that, tennis was a sport that marketed individuals. Obviously, it's an individual sport. The NBA, like Converse had a team of players: Magic, Isaiah, Bird, Bernard King. They had a Mark Aguirre. They had a whole thing of players that wore Converse weapons. Like that was they didn't have like the one singular guy. Whereas
Yeah.
Nike took the rolled the dice and said, "Hey, let's market this guy. This is a one." They rolled the dice because you never know what could happen. He could have got hurt and never played after a year. You don't know that.
Yeah.
Well, like he said, the reason that brand is so big is because of who he was as a player, and it's true. And people might not want to look at it that way, but Air Jordan's nothing if Michael Jordan's a bust. Ain't nobody running around wearing Air Jordans. And
Well, I mean, that doesn't mean anything
There's no
anymore
such thing.
because, Michael
Exactly.
Jordan is Trent's favorite player and many other people in this world's favorite player. The best player to ever play basketball in the world. And he's still with us and he's still influential. And look at the two photos behind Trent's handsome face. Both of them are just one of the greatest players to ever play the game, and I'm a huge Jordan fan.
You notice the one on this shoulder over here, right?
Yeah,
shoulder,
Eli.
This one over here. No,
Yeah.
This one here.
Yeah, that's the Neanderthal.
Yeah, they thought out the Bunsen burner there that day to get.
Well, I mean, Jordan, if there was any way to freeze, to melt, a millennia of frozen Neanderthal talent, and then bring him out to play and destroy him in front of the world, that's what Jordan did. He was one of the greatest assassins in the game of basketball you've ever seen. And
I saw a good question today. I'll ask you this because we're just rambling about basketball. I like doing this. And I like
I mean, we wanted to talk about this because it's a weird couple of weeks, right? So let's talk about hoops.
Put it this way: when people talk about like the whole GOAT conversation, right? I'm not going to talk about the GOAT. I'm just going to put it this way:
You always talk about the GOAT, bro.
No, it's not a GOAT.
You do.
It's this. No, I already know who the GOAT is. He's behind me. That's fine. We can have different opinions. I'm talking about one singular thing. If you are down by a point with 10 seconds left and you have one shot, and the person that you're going to pick has to take the shot. Can't pass it, has to take it. Who are you picking?
Which generation of basketball?
It's Michael Jordan. No, it's Michael Jordan.
No, you're asking me a question. So I'd like to answer the question, if you don't mind. But I just want to get clarity on, because it's quite a broad question.
Any player you want from any generation.
Okay, in the 60s, I would say Wilt. Unstoppable.
Sure.
And he has over 100 records that will probably never be broken in the NBA.
Yeah.
And but the way I like to talk about the greatest players is Michael Jordan is probably the greatest player in the history of the NBA, but in position, because there's so many great players, perhaps not as great as Michael Jordan. I would say they're the greatest point guard, and we're going to do a show on this. Trent and I talked about this many times. The greatest shooting guard, the greatest small forward, the greatest power forward, the greatest center, and then talk about, and Brooke, Trent and I, we talked about our if we had 12 players and we did a team, and I picked my team, and we went against it, and it was really quite interesting, and I think that's content for the future. But in the meantime, these are great questions. And especially when the NBA has just screwed up the schedule so bad, and the Emirates are coming in trying to drop off $500,000 cash to any guy that's on a two-way that's making $150,000.
Matt McClung maybe get called up so he can get $500K.
Yeah, well, it happens, and it can be really beneficial, right? And there's only one Michael Jordan. There always only will be one Michael Jordan, one Wilt Chamberlain, one Hakeem Olajuwon, one Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one Kobe Bryant. And at the end of the day, it's really important. We're going to talk about these players. Let's put them in the highest 1% of the best players in the world in the history of the game. And just because one's better than the other doesn't mean we can't talk about all the others that contributed to the greatest sport in the history of the world, in my opinion.
The opinion that you have of who the greatest player is subjective. And you could pick, honestly, I've heard probably, in my lifetime, I've probably heard 5 to 6 guys being chosen as that player. That's fine with me. I just know who my choice is, but I'm not against. When someone says, I think Kareem is, I'm not telling them they're wrong.
Well, I mean, we could do an episode on that, and I'd like to, because I would love to battle Trent on the Kareem versus Jordan. I've got stats that we could make 45 minutes to an hour episode on the GOAT of the great, and this is what I was just talking about before. Kareem, statistically, is the best player to ever play the game of basketball in the history of basketball. If you look at the stats, And if you directly correlate those stats, and I'll bring it up. I'll put it on the show later. And it's the fact. And then other people from the 50s and 60s and I guess early 70s would say that Bill Russell, and I've got his book right in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of this man. What he did, the Russell Rules, he created basketball, the 11 lessons of leadership. This is exactly...
I'm more of a fan of Bill Russell because of the man Bill Russell was.
Great man.
Just a great dude.
And we're going to do an episode on that because Wilt Chamberlain and I had a conversation in Kids Beach, and he spent more time talking about his friendship with Bill.
I bet.
And Rick Barry.
Yeah.
How much he respected Rick Barry. Because Rick Barry upset the Lakers.
Right.
Before it was one of Wilt's last, I think it was his last season when he won the championship with Al Attles and the Golden State Warriors in 1974.
Yeah.
And Wilt says the guy was a demon. He'd look in his eyes and he saw like an empty soul. He was just like he had one thing that he was going to do.
He's trying to accomplish something, right?
And guess what? Rick Barry, on a side note, is the #1 senior pickleball championship in the world in singles and doubles.
And I believe he has the highest free throw percentage in the history of the NBA,
which is 90.
Yeah. Shooting granny style, people.
Underhanded, two hands, underhanded. By the way, he tried to teach Wilt and others to do the same thing, and Wilt actually did it for a while, and then he said, "Forget it." Nobody could do it, but it's like Kareem doing the hook shot, and Rick doing the underhand, and then who else we have? We got a whole bunch of other guys we could talk about, but that's further content. And in the meantime, let's talk about, if you don't mind, Trent, before we finish up today. It's been a really fun episode because we're just freestyling it for the most part. We're at 41 minutes. We do need to talk about 22 games in the season, not including the Emirates game. The 2 games that they add. Is there anything that you've noticed, either West or East, that you'd like to bring up in terms of either a player, a team, a philosophy, anything that you just sort of stood out and you went, wow, what the hell's going on? I'll tell you mine, but I'll let you have...
You could go first because I have to think about it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what happened last night. So in the last week, obviously, we're Hoop Junkies, Trent and I, and that's why we do all basketball from the Hoop Junkies and the second iteration, the Canadian Bro Show. And if you enjoy the content, please subscribe and share and comment and like. We really appreciate it. We need your help and support because we're on the goal to get 500 subs, and we're at about 106 right now. And we've done 96 episodes in 1 year. And at the end of the day, you know how it works, so we appreciate any love. But, what's going on in the first 22, 23 games of the NBA? First and foremost, I've never seen the amount of prolific scoring that I'm seeing from so many different players at a high level. Right. There's 25 to 30 players in the NBA who are averaging 25 points a game or thereabouts. And we're not just talking about... We're just talking about points going in the basket. And because points are so important, is the NBA and fantasy created a new level, which is a points fantasy league. So it's points, and then there's 5 or 6 different types. We play predominantly, Trent and I, 9-category Yahoo basketball fantasy, which means we play against, as an example, Trent and I will play against each other for a week. And he has his entire team of 15 players with 3 injury reserve, which all of us are using right now because 200-plus players of 500 in the NBA are injured currently, which has probably never happened. I have to look into those stats. I'll get into that later. But this is not a bitch and moan session. This is just about trying to clarify the frustration fantasy basketball players and Hoop Junkies like Trent and I and everybody else that's watching the show and hopefully will watch the show at some point, either tomorrow or at some point in the future. We appreciate that. It's absolutely unpredictable. You can't control anything. All you can do is prepare yourself. I have 8 teams, Trent has 2. And he plays other fantasy basketball or sports as well. And honestly, there's no way to prep more than what we do. And myself, it's just crazy. 8 teams. I mean, I spend an hour of every morning doing that before anything else because I've got to stay on top of this thing. I've been doing it for 24 years. I'm in the top 1%. I have to look into that again. And now I'm into the higher points of the platinum again and really happy about it. But the point is the schedule and what's going on in the NBA and the injuries and the fact that these young players in the NBA own the league. The coaches don't own the players. The players own the team. They control it. What happened to me last night was I saw a future superstar in the NBA grow and blossom and explode right in front of my eyes. I have not seen, and I've talked about DQ, Derek Queen, the New Orleans Hornets, probably one of the worst teams in the NBA right now. But their schedule was really beneficial, and it helped me stay last week in week 7 and into week 7 or week 8. And that is because I picked up Saddiq Bey, DQ, Derek Queen, and the Fears, Jeremiah Fears, because the schedule was there and I needed to get stats in order to start my second week, week 8, strong Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday because of the Emirates. And I dominated all 8 of my teams in the first day because of that. And I added more today. And tonight is happening because it's the quarterfinals of the Emirates, as we mentioned earlier. And at the end of the day with fantasy, pay attention. You have to micromanage. Not everybody has the time. Yeah. I'm semi-retired. I understand that. So I have the time to do this, but I'm also a hoop junkie. And this is what I do. It's my hobby. I can't play basketball anymore. That's why we're doing the show, because Trent and I love hoops. Trent loves sports. I love sports. But I had 3 players contribute, and then I picked up more guys for Tuesday, and then realizing you only got 4 pickups for the week going into the second week. Mm-hmm. So you got to play by the moment. And so far, so good. And that's what I want to talk about. DQ, Derek Queen, had a triple-double last night. This kid he's like Jell-O. He's smooth. He's butter. He's on a different vibe, a different equilibrium. He is calm. And I haven't seen a young player like that in, oh my God. I mentioned DeMarcus Cousins, but he's better than DeMarcus Cousins. Mm-hmm. This kid had 38, 16 boards, 11 dimes, 4 blocks, a couple of steals, and he dominated the game. And they still lost by 2 points because the player that beat them on the San Antonio Spurs is probably one of the best. What? And they do suck. Yeah, but Derek Queen, he had a triple-double.
Yeah, he had a great
it was the most amazing game I've seen for a rookie this year. But the San Antonio Spurs, they got a couple of players in their team. This Derek Harper kid, the son of Ron Harper,
I know, he's better than Bailey. Coming from Rutgers.
Oh my God, Trent, he is.
He's a good player.
They were raving about him last night.
I was going to text you last night. when I was watching.
I'm surprised you didn't. I was thinking about that myself.
He's a very good player. Goes
wow.
Either hand.
I mean, and he's available. He's available in like 28%. But the schedule sucks so bad. Everybody, the people that know are holding off. Yeah. I had to give up Edgecombe.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that. Yeah.
Right, well, and on 3 of my teams.
One game, like.
Right, because I'm trying to deke and dive and trying to move and groove and fill the thing, but this is what it's about, and this is the journey that we're on, and I just want to bring that up. It was really impressive. DQ, Derek. If you haven't heard, the guy's 6'11". He's smooth as butter, and he doesn't speed up for anybody, and he doesn't wait for anybody. He is just anomaly. I haven't seen a kid like this, a young man. And Saddiq Bey, I've got to tell you, out of Villanova, he's been killing it the last 10, 12 games.
You can tell he got in better shape.
He's ripped, dude.
Like he was chunky in Detroit.
He was chunky. He's ripped, and he's serious. He wants to get paid, bro.
Yeah, he's in great shape.
And you can get paid on a shitty team, but
course.
you gotta perform. So who do you want to talk about?
Well, on the other side, on the East, I would say Jalen Johnson had back-to-back triple doubles for the Atlanta Hawks, and one of them was like a 38-20 to 15 game. Like it was
It wasn't
crazy.
back to back. He did 7 out of 10 games
Yeah,
where
but it was crazy. He's just been
the numbers were incredible.
He's the best player in the Atlanta Hawks. Sorry, Trae Young, but Jalen Johnson is what makes them go. I mean,
Look,
Trae Young.
they're 10-7 without Trae Young because of him.
He's just playing out of his mind right now. Fun player to watch. Super athletic, big guy.
Athletic, long, huge hands.
Injury problems, but hopefully that holds off this year. And that'd be the other thing. The big thing about the NBA for me is, as I brought up earlier, is basketball IQ is not as high. There's only so many players that you can see have it, and the fundamentals, they're not that great. It's there is no post game anymore. That's a dying. That's dead.
Well, if you watched DQ last night, he dominated on the post.
But most games, you're not seeing it. Well, put it this way: there's going to be matchups when you're a smart enough player and coach that you get a right matchup. It's like, hey, we need to go down to the post. That it's a mismatch. Okay, great. But overall, you don't run sets to get a guy the ball in the post. Not like they used to.
Oh, okay. No, I knew you were going to go here. So Trent is so much 100% correct. Set in the NBA, nobody runs sets. Yeah, they've got books of sets, but it's high pick and roll, it's side pick and roll, it's isolation. It's honestly, it's so true. And I watched quickly at Trent, Miami Heat, and the two coaches. The head coach, of course, he doesn't carry his book, but his associate head coach used to be his player with the big ears. I forgot his name. I like him. But he pulled out his book, and it was like 150 pages. And he's looking at every play, and the head coach of Miami, he's got it all here.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's a really valid point. And the teams that are prepared for success will probably have success. And the number one team offense in the NBA, Miami Heat. There's a reason for it.
They're playing. You know what? They're playing a really up-tempo.
They're overplaying. Look at their team. Their team is slightly above average.
Yeah.
And by the way, tonight, my rant of tonight's episode, I forgot. I wanted to bring it up. I am so fucking pissed at my second favorite coach in the NBA, the head coach of the Miami Heat, the Filipino, whatever you want to call him. I love him, and he's a great 3-time champion.
Coach, man, yeah.
He tried to play small ball with them tonight, and it didn't work, and they lost by 11. Kalau Ware, they need to start him every game for the rest of the year. After 22 games, the games he's playing, Kalau Ware played 5 minutes. And they couldn't stop anybody inside because they have nobody to block shots, and they didn't play Kalau Ware. You think Bam is going to block shots? It's not going to happen, bro.
He block shots.
No, on occasion, but he's, anyways, I watched the game, and Kalau Ware, he's a 7-footer, and he's 7'6" wingspan, and the kid is like, Jalen Duran is going to be the future of that team, and you need to play with Bam because he can shoot threes. He can play in the block, and Bam can shoot threes.
I would say,
but he didn't play him tonight, and they lost because of it, in my opinion.
In his defense, or not defense, in Spoelstra's defense,
I love Spo, man.
We don't know what goes on. Like, hey, maybe Kalau Ware he's a young guy. Maybe he's been immature. Maybe he should.
No, that's not the case.
Maybe he's not doing what he wants him to do.
No, that's not the case. Listen to what Spo said in the last few games. It's Spo tried to play small ball and thought that he could win it and outsmart everyone. And by the way, if you're a great coach and you've won multiple championships, you can screw up. And they fucked up tonight by not playing Kalau Ware. I just want to bring it up.
Him playing 5 minutes, him playing that many minutes is pretty ridiculous tonight.
5-7 minutes? Are you kidding? And they bring in some scrub, Drew Smith. I have no idea who this kid is. And they bring him in, and he's playing 12 to 15 minutes. Like, dude, if you want to win the game, stick to what works. Like, I don't need to tell him. I'm in my studio in Kelowna.
I'm not going to let you pick, obviously, the game going on tonight. We won't talk about it.
The next, no, not yet. We'll talk about that.
But Tomorrow night you got the Suns and Thunder.
The Western.
I think the Thunder win.
Of course.
I'd be surprised, and then you got the Spurs and Lakers, and I'm thinking the Lakers are going to win. The Spurs without win.
It's going to be the Spurs and the Lakers in the final in the West. So, and I think
Thunder, and I actually think the Knicks. I think the Knicks are in the final of the Emirates. I think the Knicks beat Orlando. That's what I think. I think Knicks are going to finish the game tonight, and I think they beat Orlando.
Knicks are playing it's obvious
right now. So.
Oh, they're playing great basketball. And honestly, Brown, the coach, I mean, he's doing his first year wonder, and he's 22 games in, and it's working. I watched him last night, and the leadership that Brunson provides is...
That was a good stat tonight. He had 23 votes for mayor of New York.
Where'd you pull that out?
He was on the broadcast tonight, on the Raptor broadcast.
Seriously?
Yeah, he got 23 votes for mayor.
From who?
Well, who knows? There's 20 million people in New York, so
23 voted. Only 23 voted for
23 or 26. It was that voted for him for mayor.
For what?
For
what?
Of New York.
No, they already got a mayor.
No, I know. I'm just saying, in that mayoral race.
Oh, he actually got
26 people wrote on their ballot that's who they, that they were
That's
voting
funny.
for. Yeah, so
he's incredible. He's a warrior. He's one of the most my favorite players. I got him on 3 teams.
It's hard to watch sometimes.
I know, and even Trent gave me kudos, and Trent doesn't suffer fools greatly, and even if they're not fools, he won't go out of his way to say something nice unless he really means to. And one of the things he said was, well, I agree with your Brunson pickups in the first round, because I went for Brunson as soon as I could get him if I had a chance.
They're a ball dominant. He's a ball dominant player. He's going to touch the ball basically every time on offense.
Well, he needs to, and that's why they're so good. He is remarkable. And watching his dad on the bench, his dad wasn't even half the player he was.
No.
But to see him there, and you can see his dad when I look at his Jalen Brunson's dad. He's like, he wants to be the head coach of that team more than anything in the world, and he would do anything for it. You could see that he's just steaming, right? And having a player like Brown, who is a good coach, never really played the game in his entire life, scrub. But just because you haven't played the game doesn't mean you can't be a good coach. Although every good coach in the NBA are players except Brown.
His dad was a serviceable player in the NBA, for instance. He was a decent, he was a serviceable.
I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm saying his son is so much better.
Oh yeah, he is. He didn't have to get his son drafted into the league like one of your favorite players. But hey, an average 4 points a game. But so.
You just can't help yourself, bro.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, it's incredible. Listen, we're into it for almost an hour. Is there anything you'd like to finish up with? Anything that you noticed and mentioned that you want to mention that, like, somebody that caught your attention?
I want to see 74 wins. Go Thunder. I'll say it every episode.
Yeah, man.
Thunder, I want to see 74.
I would love to see. That would be cool, man.
I want to see it.
And by the way, as Trent said that, I was really hoping he'd say that, because I let that out because there is rumor that the NBA is trying to take away draft picks for them. There's some sort of underlying thing that's going behind where they can do what they did with Chris Paul when he tried to sign with, was it the Lakers?
I was going to trade him to the Lakers.
Right. And then the NBA said no.
Yeah, because the NBA was a controlling interest of that team at that time. Right?
Hello.
I would love to see it. I mean, I don't know. And there's a thing. What's going to happen? I guess they were pretty fiery at the Clippers with Paul. I guess during a game, they were doing something, and Chris Paul yelled out some type of defensive assignment. And when they came to the timeout, Van Gundy, who's people forget he's there.
He's the defensive specialist, the associate head coach.
Biting somebody's ankle on the court, but he said to Chris Paul, like, hey, you might have been able to do that other places. You don't get to do that here. Wow.
Look, they wanted him out, and Chris Paul needed to shut his mouth. And the fact is, he's a free agent, so who's going to pick up Paul to finish the show?
Do you think somebody that maybe...
Don't say the Lakers.
Well, it'd be funny if he went to the Lakers.
I'd say the Knicks would be a good choice.
He's got to know.
Knicks or Boston.
Is his ego big enough?
It's huge, man. His ego is bigger than him.
No. They're all big. But is his ego...
Some are bigger than others.
is he able to control his ego enough to understand that he's a backup role
Look,
player?
he's 1 foot out of the league right now.
Right? I mean, if he can go to somebody like the Knicks and be the backup and play 10 minutes a game behind Jalen Brunson,
Miles is injured, and their backcourt's terrible.
right? So, I mean, that'd be perfect for them. He'd be a perfect.
I think so. I think the Knicks would be a really good fit.
So
Milwaukee, but now that Porter Jr.'s back and Rollins is playing so well,
maybe a contender, maybe somebody. Well, I don't think Houston would go back down that road, but
no, but they need a point guard.
Yeah,
just not him.
Yeah, maybe somebody picks him up that has a chance at winning, that he can come off the bench. But again, maybe he's a cancer now, that because of you hear comments like that, and it's like he thinks
Trent. There's been comments about him doing this, flapping his mouth for decades. Come on, man.
So,
He's an opinionated dude. He's connected in the league.
Yeah. He's another
Anyways,
guy that people want to put him on a pedestal when it comes to.
Well, he's been on a pedestal for 19 years or whatever.
You let me finish. You understand the pedestal I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Everybody puts him on a pedestal. When I have to listen to pundits talk about, again, top 5 point guards of all time or top 10, and they put him in there. Well, his numbers, they're longevity numbers. It's not because he's a dominant player. Steals, sure, but his steals and assist numbers is because he's been in the league for 20 fucking years.
Yeah.
Right. It's. I'm sorry, but he's not. I think he's a great player. I think he's a really good player, but I think he's looked at as way. He gets way too big a. Like when you bring up a guy like Will, and I can go. There's a guy who doesn't get his love because of when he plays.
Trent, there's somebody ringing my doorbell. Keep on going on thing. Give me 2 seconds.
I'll gotta go get probably somebody spider at the door. But so you guys know, Paul and I definitely need to talk about the history of basketball. I think sometimes that gets lost because we're in the here and the now of fantasy. But there's guys like Wilt and Jerry West and Dr. J and Moses Malone and Artis Gilmore and Larry Bird, and I mean most guys know about that, but I mean I'm talking about like the 70s and some of those guys in the late 60s that could play now and be dominant players and probably don't get the love that they deserve. Kind of like Rick Barry, right? I mean, people don't. I mean, I bet you half the people that watch this show don't know who Rick Barry is, right? So definitely something that we can talk about down the road.
Oh, for sure. And sorry about that. My doorbell rang, and normally I don't answer my doorbell. But when I looked outside the window, I saw a delivery van, and they got the wrong address. So I apologize for that. And
Paul thought he was getting his golden chocolate mint cookies from the Good Girl Guides. He was going to go down there.
No, God, I would never eat that shit. I did.
When you were gone, all I said was this: is that one of the things that we're going to talk about down the road is, there's a lot of players. Rick Barry, who you brought up earlier.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys like Rick Barry, Moses Malone, Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
David Thompson, George Gervin, guys that we are in the now with fantasy that we're talking about. But there's people that are, the 20 people that watch our show, some of them don't know the history of some of these great players. I mean,
it's more than that. Come on, man.
Jerry West, the logo, right? So those guys could all play now and be as dominant as they were in the 60s and 70s.
Listen, that Trent, we've talked about it. We're going to do content on that. We're going to go a deep dive in all those things. And I really love that you bring that up because I think about it every day.
Me too.
And by the way, if I asked you a simple question right now, would you be able to handle the question and come up with an answer on the spot to finish the show?
Sure. All right. What's the question?
Okay. In all of modern time of NBA, I mean, since, say, the 60s, right? Way back. The best... smallest guard from the 60s to now, and you're not there, I'm older than you, but is there one small guard in history of the NBA that did what no other guard did in one season that nobody talks about? Led the league in scoring and assists.
Tiny Archibald.
Thank you. That's why you're so good, bro. Tiny Archibald. For those who don't know, Trent and I are going to incorporate a lot of stuff talking about basketball in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. and we're going to be incorporating because content's so relevant. And weeks like this, when we're not freestyling, and by the way, I really enjoyed this today, Trent. Thank you. Because this is what we do. Trent and I could talk about hoops for hours.
It's like a phone call. So,
right? And I was thinking about Tiny, and when I first started watching basketball in the 70s, 1971, I saw the Knickerbockers and Walt Frazier, and then I saw guys like Tiny Archibald and other guys where nobody knows. And I'm being a small dude. I used to be 5'11". I'm probably 5'10" now, turning 61. And I obviously had an affinity towards small players that could dominate the game. Tiny Archibald, as we're finishing the show, averaged with the Kansas City Kings in the ABA before they joined the NBA, and then I think was on Buffalo Braves for 1 year, but and then Boston. Averaged 36 points a game and 12 assists. And you talk about run and gun back in those days. That's a guy that's like 5'10", 5'11", and he dominated the entire league. And I think it's kind of interesting if we incorporate that at the end of every show and talk about one thing, whatever you'd like to talk about. I think it'd be fun.
I think the best thing that probably ever happened to the NBA was the ABA.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Let's be honest, right?
Between
rule changes and just the players as well, right? I mean, the NBA was still predominantly white. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got high school guys, coming out to play pro in the ABA.
Well, in the mid to late 70s, early 80s, it was more multiracial. But one thing I will say is one of my favorite teams was the Virginia Squires. And I used to watch ABA when I was young because they would put it, every once in a while they put an ABA game on in black and white on not ABC, which was the NBA. It would be some other NBC or CBS or whatever. And I actually watched the Virginia Squires play the San Antonio Spurs, and it was the Big E, and the Virginia Squires had Dr. J and George Gervin in their starting lineup. Like, honestly, people, you have any idea what that means?
The greatest afro of all time.
Oh my God, one of the greatest dunkers. But in the meantime, Trent, we're going to wrap things up. It's been a really wonderful episode. It's been a really nice freestyling episode. And for those that haven't been to the show, this is a free show. It's a Canadian Bro Show at the Canadian Bro Show YouTube podcast. This is the second iteration of the Canadian Bro Show. The first iteration is, well, basically, it's all Canadian. We talk about Canadian pop culture in all ways with Pauly and Johnny. And then Trent and I talk about all basketball with the Hoopjunkies, Pauly and Rowley. And thank you very much for joining us. We're really excited. This episode will be up tomorrow. And comment, like, subscribe. And thank you again, Trent. It's been really a wonderful show. We're going to get back to some hoops tonight. We're going to watch the second game of the Emirates. Yeah, you too. And thanks again, Trent. We're going to lock this down, and we will see you next week. We do this every week. All Canadian, all basketball with the Canadian Hoopjunkies, Pauly and Rowley. Trent, love you, bro. Great show. Say hi to the wife, and we will... and Trent, would you like to share with everybody before we finish every show what's really kind of important for people to, just a little reminder, a little friendly, gentle reminder?
Be kind, it's free. And it's also free to be an asshole, but hey, choose this first.
It's better to be kind. Let's just be kind. Make someone's day. Don't expect anything from it. Give someone a hug. Tell someone you love them, and help somebody out. And just be kind. It's a crazy world, and the more that we do this, the happier we are, and the more you enjoy the Canadian Bro Show. Thanks for joining us. We will see you in a week's time. Take care, bro.
Later.